Gonna check real quick, make sure we're good to go on Facebook. Yep, we're live. Awesome.
Good. Sweet.
Yep. Yeah. Hey, everybody. This is Jonathan with Captain Experiences, and I'm here with Captain Richard Gardner of Galveston on the Fly. How's it going?
How's everybody doing?
Good stuff. Good stuff. Well, yeah, like every one of these interviews, if you're tuning in, feel free to leave your comments for Captain Richard, and we'll ask him the tough questions. Just wanted to start out by asking you to introduce yourself, where you operate, that sort of
stuff. Richard Gardner with Galveston on the Fly. I'm a fly fishing guide up here on the upper Texas coast, mainly in Galveston and the West Bay complex, with exception, depending on the month. So I do fish kind of near the middle coast, the Brazoria area, Brazoria County, the San Bernard River, and the Brazos River. That's about as far south as I go. I might venture into East Bay with some buddies just to kind of do some scouting for them or just for fun fishing. But I typically try to keep most of my trips on the upper Galveston Bay and the West Bay complex. And occasionally I will run to East Galveston Bay as well. But
awesome. Yeah, that's great to really kind of hone in on, that one section of the bay system, which is obviously very vast. You have your work out for you just right there. Can you touch on what kind of trips you offer, half day, full day?
So yeah, we offer half days and full days. Half days typically run 4 to 5 hours. I'll typically go over if we're not seeing fish or something's happening, and we really didn't get to fish all that often or too much, But typically it runs 4 to 5 hours for a half day, and a full day is 8 to 9. So it's a longer day on the water.
Yeah.
We get on the water about 7 a.m., maybe a little earlier if it's the weekend, try to beat the crowds type thing. And it depends what we're seeing. If we're side casting the cruisers, or we'll kind of wait a little bit to let the sun come up. But if I know there's going to be some tailing going on and some backing due to the tide levels, I'll kind of wake up a little earlier and get those guys on the water a little earlier and beat somebody to the spot if we can, because the bone ramps have been crazy in the last 2 weeks. They've been insane. So yeah, a lot of spots have been busy. It's been busy.
Yeah, that's awesome. Can you talk about specifically what fly fishing West Bay is like? Sorry, is there some crackling going? Do you hear that or?
Yeah, I hear it a little bit, but it's not bad.
Okay, perfect. But yeah, just want to ask about that.
Yeah, so we have really good fly fishing in the Galveston Bay complex. We are known for dirty water. Obviously, it's not as clear as it is in Porta Cana, Rockport, down south, upper, lower Laguna Madre stuff. But we do have good fly fishing opportunities here. There's certain times of year, which is starting to become now, from, I guess, early spring, late spring, into summer, where we have a lot of grass showing up, and the grass regrows, which filters that water. It makes it really clear. So if I took a photo of where we're fishing, you couldn't tell if it was Belize or Galveston Bay, because it is so clear whenever that grass does grow through. But we're fishing a lot of back marshes, a lot of shorelines and spoil banks, sand flats that turn into grass flats in the summertime, or I guess now through the summer until that grass actually dies off again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically just marsh fishing and sand flat fishing, whether it be on the west end or on the east end, and that's pretty much what I offer. I do accommodate spin fishermen who want to throw the spinning or bait casting rod, but typically what I do is we sight cast fish. So they'll sight cast fish either with a fly rod or with a spinning rod, along with a bait caster. If they're bait caster guys, it's kind of sacrilegious to throw a spinning rod in Texas, but I kind of did a lot of fishing in Florida back in early 2000, so I kind of turned over a new leaf.
Yeah, I'm all about it personally, but that's awesome. Can you touch on your skiff a little bit? How many people you can take, that stuff?
Yeah, so I run a Sabine skiff. It's actually one of the only aluminum skiffs built in the world. There's, I think, Express builds one. There's a few home builds, but Sabine skiffs owned by Brian Little, and he actually He has a warehouse in Kemah, and he does a lot of I think the welding is in East Texas, kind of near Beaumont, Winnie area. But yeah, I run a skiff. It's a 4-person skiff. If you would like to, I don't typically take 4 people out. It's usually me plus 2 other anglers or 1 other angler. And there's always 1 person on the bow, and 1 person kind of sits and watches and they kind of swap off, take turns. So I generally let them kind of pick and choose how they want to do that, but I sometimes have to step in and say, hey, it's his turn, or hey, he needs to get a few shots in. But yeah, it's typically 3 guys on the skiff is pretty much a full boat.
Yeah, that's awesome. Can you talk about how you first off got into fishing, got into fly fishing, and then began guiding as well?
Yeah, so I've only been guiding 2 years now. I've been fishing all my life. I actually grew up in Pasadena, Texas, and my dad, he still has his place on the San Bernard River. So I would get lost on the weekends, for hours and hours on end as a kid and a 10-year-old in a little 12-foot John boat, just doing what you do as a 12-year-old and getting lost. And so, he's the one who kind of turned me on to it. And as an adolescent, but as I started to grow and I could actually drive, my buddies and I would basically just turn to kayaking or wade fishing, mostly wading for the most part. We'd go wade the same flats that I pull now on occasion on the west end of Galveston. And I started guiding. I started fly fishing about 10 years ago. I was just getting bored with the conventional, not bored with it. I just wanted to change. I wanted to do something a bit different. And so I picked up a fly rod and kind of taught myself. I'm an all self-taught guy.
Wow.
Never turned back, never looked back. I kind of fell in love with it like everybody else does. And here I am, guiding, I guess 10 years later after I picked up a fly rod. So, but I've been guiding the Galveston Bay Complex for about 2 years now.
That's awesome. That's great stuff. So do you fall back to the same, pointers and tips that, traditional fly fishing guides would teach their students, or do you kind of have your own train of thought on that?
It's a little bit of both. I've fished all over the world, probably 6, 7, 8 different countries, probably.
Yeah.
A lot as a kid, and travel a lot now, trying to fly fish and surf and stuff. So I picked up a lot from the Belizean guides, the Bahamian guides down in Costa Rica or Guatemala or wherever you might fish, So they all have their own tips, tricks, techniques, and I try to take a little bit from every one of those guys because there's some amazing guides out there who have been doing a hell of a lot longer than me, that I can definitely learn something from. I try to do that, but yeah, I got my own little deal going on. I got my own little tips and techniques, but I do take a lot from other guys who taught me along the way.
Yeah.
I'd be stupid not to, because we're always learning. Every time I go out on the water, I learn something new. I really do. I'm not just saying that. I really do. Whether it be tidal, whether it be wind wise, whether it be just trying to nail down fish in a specific spot in a specific time for a tide. So I take it all, man. I take everything I can get to be the best I can be for my clients.
Yeah, that's amazing. On that note, can you touch on some of the gear that you use? What weight rod, tongue twister you might be using, flies, that sort of stuff?
Yeah, so I typically, you got guys who'll throw 5 and 6 weight at these little smaller redfish, but generally fish an 8 weight, 7, 8, or 9 weight. 9 being wind dependent. That heavier line will kind of cut through that wind a little bit easier than an 8 weight will, as opposed to in a 7 as well. But yeah, so a 7, 8, and a 9 weight rod is typically ideal for the Texas coast. You never know when you might run into a big old jack in the summertime or now somewhere cruising along, and it's going to be a fight on an 8 weight. But yeah, I traditionally fish a 9-foot fly rod, but I am starting to move towards these shorter shot rods that are about 8 foot. So I use these thicker heads on some of these fly lines, so it loads that rod easy. Right. So they don't not as much false casting, and they're real easy to point and shoot type of thing, as opposed to a long bonefish tapered line. Yeah, so 7, 8 and weight, 7, 8, and 9 is typically what's ideal on the Texas coast.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for that. Let's see. What would you say makes your trips different? Different?
It's a good question. I think, a lot of guides, I'm not throwing stones, but a lot of guides have been doing this a long time. I haven't yet. I'm not tired of it yet. I enjoy being out on the water, which a lot of guides are. They enjoy the hell out of being on the water. They wouldn't do what they do. I'm kind of patient. I don't get aggravated too easily. And if a guy blows a shot or blows a fit, does a trout set instead of a strip set, it's no big deal. We're going to see fish,
Right.
So I don't fly off the handle. I'm pretty calm. I'm pretty honed in on my spot up here on the upper Galveston Bay area, along with, all the other guides are too. There's nothing different in that aspect, but I like to, think I'm a little bit more patient than some of those guys out there that have been doing it 30 years.
Yeah.
But, not throwing stones at them. We got some just outstanding people on the Texas coast that know fish through and through. And so I'm not taking away from them at all. And there's a lot of guys that have been doing it 10 times as long as I have. But I've fished with some of those guys. And, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, that's why we do these interviews. Some people, they might like that, that fly guide, kind of a love coach. It's like, come on, you can't, they think that, that pumps them up or whatever. Others kind of like to, I don't know, be a little more even-keeled about it. So that's cool.
A lot of people don't. I mean, there's people that don't have thick skin. There's people that do, and there's some personality conflicts on occasion. Not with me, but I've seen it. So it is what it is. You know what I mean? And some guys weren't meant to be in the same boat together, but I try to pride myself on being the guy who can pretty much get along with anybody.
Yeah. Well, if they don't get along, the water's not too deep, they can just walk right off. That's awesome. What's it like when you put somebody on their first redfish on the fly?
A lot of guys, especially that haven't done any saltwater fly fishing, they've done stream fishing, trout fishing. It's just amazing. They're ecstatic. It's a bucket list fish for a lot of guys. It's a bucket list fish for the Montana guys, the Colorado guys, the Midwest guys, or gals. And just a person who's landlocked that doesn't get to fish for these kind of fish. And it's awesome to see somebody hook up with the redfish. I think I'm more excited half the time than they are whenever they're hooking up. But it's cool, man. It's cool to see their reactions and how ecstatic they are whenever they hook up. So it's self-fulfilling for me, for sure.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, that segues into my next question, which is, why do you love what you do? What gets you up in the morning?
I've never been a person to be able to sit at home and kind of whittle away on a video game or, a TV. I enjoyed the outdoors, as a lot of the Texans do, So getting up I live on the Texas coast. I live on the upper coast here in Seabrook, Texas, which is kind of the upper Galveston Bay complex.
Right.
I like my kids to do the same things. So if I don't get up for myself, I get up for them to kind of enjoy the same things that I do. But it's just being out in nature, seeing different things, running a boat. It's just cool. I like being outside and doing things that involve the outdoors, whether it be fishing, hunting. I'm not the biggest hunter anymore. I haven't hunted in a long time, but I still enjoy it.
Yeah.
So just being outdoors, man, is just kind of the key for me. And we're not going to be here forever. Might as well enjoy the hell out of it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Is there one memory that stands out for you, over your time guiding as your best memory as a guide?
I think my first trip I ever took, it was my first guided trip, and the guy I was taking, it was his first redfish trip. So he had never caught a redfish in his entire life. He was an average fly fisherman, done some trout stuff, but I had a lot of pressure on me being my first trip to run. I was kind of learning things still, and his being his first redfish trip, and he hooked up almost 30 minutes in, and I'm like, okay, all the pressure's off, and we can just relax and go fish now. So I was kind of on edge, but the most memorable experiences I've had was my first trip, putting him on his first redfish on fly, which was really good.
That's amazing. That's a good story. How do you feel about the future of fishing and the future of fly fishing, both specifically, in Texas, in Galveston Bay, and then beyond generally?
So there's definitely more fishermen in the water. Obviously, you're going to hear everybody say it, and it's the future of fishing is good. We got some great conservationists out there, whether it be CCA of Texas or Flaxworthy, and what they're trying to accomplish. Right. We definitely do have busier bay systems and busier marsh systems. I've seen more skiff in my spots and other spots than I've ever seen in my entire life. But these guys know what they're doing. They know how to run boats. They know how to be conservationists. Catch and release is really catching on. So I got high hopes for the fishery. A lot of guys are doing it for sport, not for feed anymore. You still have obviously the meat haulers, which is cool. I eat fish just like the rest of us do. But I think the future's bright, man. I do. I really do, with the conservation mindset of the majority of anglers now. But it's busier. There's a lot of boats on the water. So we're going to have to all get along and play nice. But, yeah, I got high hopes for the future, man.
That's awesome. Do you remember fishing after the BP oil spill about 10 years ago last week? Can you just touch on what your personal experiences were like at that time, and how the fishery is rebounded or that sort of stuff?
Would have been 2010-ish, right? So I know one, I'm a big surfer, so I've surfed the Texas coast since I was 15 years old. But one thing I do remember as a surfer is all the oil deposits washing up on the beaches. I don't remember specifically as a fisherman that I saw any oil sheen on the water, any fish that might have been affected. Maybe I wasn't paying close enough attention to it. There probably was. But I do definitely remember as a Texas surfer that there was a ton of oil deposits on the upper Texas coast that they just couldn't clean up. And I mean, that was pretty devastating, and we bounced back pretty quickly. And I'm not sure the everlasting effects of it, but I'm assuming it did some pretty hard damage to our system. I just don't know to what effect, just yet. But yeah, unfortunate set of events there.
Right. Yeah. That's really interesting. Thanks for that. Yeah. Cool. Well, so now we just have some rapid fire questions for you. So just first thing that comes to mind. Favorite body of water to fish?
Caribbean.
Nice. If you had to be doing something different, what would it be?
Oh man, that's a good question. I'd probably be a veterinarian.
Nice. Cool. What other hobbies outside of fly fishing do you enjoy?
Man, big surfer. I try to get my kids into surfing. Pilot. I enjoy flying airplanes.
No way.
So, and I enjoy just hanging out with my kids and teaching them all the things that I love. So those are pretty much my hobbies. My wife, obviously. So my time is consumed by a lot, and I try to do the best I can to make do with what I have. But I've got a lot of hobbies, and I try to spread them out evenly and enjoy them all. But yeah, surfing or hanging out with my kids are probably my biggest hobbies. My wife. So
awesome. That's a lot to keep you busy.
Yeah. Yes.
Do you have a nickname, and if so, how do you get it?
No, it's called some pretty bad things, but my dad, I got a group of friends that call me Dick. I got a group of friends that call me Rich.
Right.
Friends, my old childhood buddies, or Rick. It's all over the map. When I introduce myself, I find myself introducing myself as Rich these days. So, I guess I'm just getting lazy. I don't want to spell out Richard anymore.
Yeah, Big Rich. There you go. Do you have a favorite song or band right now?
A favorite song or band? Man, I'm kind of old school. Not old school, but I like a little. I'd say if I'm going to listen to country, I like Morgan Wallen. I like that's newer style country, but Jack Johnson's always on the playlist.
Mm-hmm.
or off the top of my head, that's pretty much what I can think of right now. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, that's solid. Favorite movie?
Favorite movie? You know, it's embarrassing. I haven't been in the movies in a long time, but man, favorite movie would have to be, man, probably Django Unchained.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
Was one of my favorites. As bad as it was one of my favorite movies. You know.
Yeah, yeah. No, super entertaining. Yeah,
Yeah.
goes crazy on that. Favorite food?
It's a toss-up, man. Chopped beef sandwich from one of the best barbecue spots I can think of, or fajitas.
Nice. Yeah, can't go wrong with either of those. You have a go-to barbecue spot?
So we do. You know, I'm just right down the road from your standard Papacitos or El Tiempo.
Oh, yeah.
Great spots, but I really enjoy Red River Cantina. It's kind of they have a barbecue joint, but they opened up a Mexican food joint just south of where we're at, about 5 miles, and it's got some good food.
That's awesome.
Barbecue. I don't even remember the name of what it's called, but it's literally in a gas station about a mile north of here. They opened up about 6 months ago, and it's phenomenal barbecue.
Wow.
Brook gas station barbecue on Genoa Red Bluff. Try it out if you ever run across that. And it's just, those guys are amazing.
There you go.
Standing right now because of all this hoopla going on, but it's good stuff.
Right. Yeah, that's awesome. Great. Do you have a drink of choice?
I'm an IPA guy. I'm actually drinking the Eighth Wonder.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so my favorite IPA would probably either have to be Nebraska Brewing IPA, or I'm a big fan of Stash IPA out in Austin. So yeah, I'm an IPA guy though. The fridge is full.
Yeah. You like the St. Arnold art car at all?
I like art car. Yeah, I do for sure. If I'm gonna drink St. Arnold's, it's a special brew, the Endeavor.
Huh.
It's good stuff. I don't know how often I brew that, but if you find it and you ever see it sitting on the shelf, it's good stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome. Last time I was at the brewery, I told the guy my favorite beer is a lawnmower. He just laughed at me. He was like, "Dude, that's the most vanilla beer." And I was like, "What? I love it. It's great."
You know, it's funny you mentioned St. Arnold's. My wife and I got married in 2012, and we had our rehearsal dinner at the St. Arnold's Brewery.
No way. That's awesome.
It's good. Yeah.
Really cool venue. What's your favorite sports team? I think I know this one.
Yeah, the Astros, man. I'm an Astros Rockets fan. I'm still a Texans fan, but yeah, I'm an Astros fan.
Nice. Yeah, we're on the same rug. I've got my World Series tickets right there, pinned up above the bed. That's awesome.
Did you go to this last World Series?
Yeah.
I went to Game 7.
No way. Okay, I was. I think it was Game 4 or 5. Yeah. It was awesome.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Let's see. If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Whew. Man, that's a good one. Probably to fly without renting an airplane.
Nice.
You kind of see what's going on with the world and seeing what everybody else is doing, and kind of just flying for sure.
That's amazing. Totally. What was your last Halloween costume?
My last what?
Halloween costume.
Ooh. So, probably Payne Stewart after his death.
Uh-huh.
Rest in peace, Payne.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. Rest in peace. Great golfer, one of the greatest that ever lived. But yeah, it was Payne Stewart for Halloween one year.
That's awesome. That's good stuff.
Two other songs did.
Yeah, that's cool. What do you want for Christmas?
What do I want for Christmas? Probably a trip somewhere. I'd take a trip over any kind of physical gift at all. Wife and I, by ourselves, no kids, just go sit on a beach somewhere, relax for 3 or 4 days.
Nice.
I'm surprised you don't hear screaming, hollering. Pretty good right now.
Yeah, caught a few. Yeah, they're behaving. That's great. Can you name one of the 7 dwarfs?
Yeah, Happy, right? Is that one of them?
Nice. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably
most
a few others.
answer with Sleepy or Grumpy. So that's good on you for going Happy. How many pull-ups can you do in a row?
Kipping or strict?
What's that?
Kipping or strict?
Ooh, I don't know.
Strict, I can do about 15. Kipping, I can do about 25.
Nice. There you go. You're definitely the winner out of our guys so far. That's awesome.
I still do CrossFit, man. Although the gyms have been closed, I'm an avid CrossFitter.
Nice. Cool. That's great.
Yeah.
Is LeBron James or Michael Jordan the best ever?
Michael Jordan.
Nice. There you go. Have you seen the new documentary?
No, I have not.
I just watched the first episode. It's pretty sweet.
My wife has it. We were going to watch it tonight, actually, but we're still watching Longmire. I'm like, if you haven't watched that, it's not bad on Netflix.
No, I'll check it out.
Longmire, yeah.
Nice. What's the biggest fish you ever caught?
Oh, man, let's see. Probably heaviest or longest?
Let's go both.
So heaviest is probably, all my tarpon have been in like 30, 40-pound range. Either that's a good question. Probably my heaviest fish was probably a 65-pound rooster fish. Longest would have easily been a gar, which was like, I don't know, like damn near 60 inches, 65 inches.
Where was the rooster?
Costa Rica.
Awesome.
Rica a couple years ago, maybe 3 years ago.
That's awesome. On a fly?
No, this was on a popper. But
nice. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was cool. It was really cool.
That's amazing.
It was blowing about 50 miles an hour or so. It's just amazing that we actually caught that. But
that's awesome. So now for the favorite question. If you could have one more cast to throw in your life, what would you throw and where would it be?
One more what?
One more cast.
Where would I throw it and what would it be? Man. I wouldn't throw it at a tarpon because it probably wouldn't eat. I wouldn't throw it at a permit because it probably wouldn't feed. I would say, man, a cruising redfish in about a foot of water and on a gin clear flat with a redfish crack.
Boom.
Pretty much be certain those things are going to eat. So
that's awesome. Good stuff. Yeah, that's really about it. Is there anything else you want to touch on or anything you think that we didn't cover?
No, I appreciate you having me on. Thanks a lot for doing it. I appreciate it. I think you guys are doing an awesome thing. If you guys want to come out and fish, Upper Galveston Bay Complex, galvestononthefly.com or 832-723-7413 is my phone number. Got the website all up, or I got the Instagram handle up, Galveston on the Fly. So just holler at me.
Awesome. Yeah, and then do you want to give a shout out to the troops, the armed forces, that sort of stuff?
Absolutely. All the first responders right now, all the frontline guys and ladies and gentlemen out there just kind of doing their thing and feeling the brunt of this. We do appreciate it. Obviously, always serving responders. Hats off to them. We wouldn't be where we are without what they do. So hats off to all those people. Just true heroes. They don't wear capes, but they're true heroes. And
yeah.
Them, so. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, especially at a time like this. That's good stuff. Well, yeah, Captain Richard, really appreciate it, and we'll have to do it again sometime soon. Yeah, best of luck with everything, and we'll keep in touch.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Jonathan. Take care, guys.
Yep. Sounds good.
Yep.
Bye.